let's take stock. The Niners haven't done a whole lot, but that doesn't mean they haven't gotten better in certain areas. Do you think the offense
Yes.
has gotten better this offseason?
Yes.
How?
I think what Richard Sherman said, addition by subtraction. I think there were too many mouths to feed. I
He
think,
said that?
yes. He said he thinks the Debo trade is good for San Francisco because it's addition by subtraction.
I completely agree. Sherman's
Yep.
good.
Mm-hmm.
He blocked me on Twitter, but he's good.
I completely agree with Sherm. I think that there were too many mouths to feed. You had Debo, who was crying and throwing temper tantrums for the ball. You just paid BA, so you had to throw him the ball. Pearsall needs to develop, so you had to throw him the ball. Then you got Jawan, who's always open, so you have to throw him the ball. Then you have Kittle, so you have to throw him the ball. Then
McCaffrey gets a lot of targets.
Yeah. So as you can see, we got like 7 targets we got to feed. So with
and like Demarcus Robinson won't complain.
No,
he'll be happy with 2 targets if he gets them.
Yep. And I honestly think the offense will be better without BA. I really do. I think they could focus on George and Christian and then,
Ricky?
In Ricky. And I think you have Jawan and Demarcus Robinson that can pick up the slack when, I think Demarcus Robinson's a slick little route runner too. So I think, he'll always be open. Jawan's at least going to box somebody out. So I honestly think the offense is going to look a lot better.
Losing Mason hurt, but they're going to draft a running back. And as long as like Bobby Turner is the one making the draft pick, I have a feeling it'll work. I mean,
did losing
Jordan Mason Guarendo's pretty good. What's that?
Did losing Jordan Mason hurt? Kyle seems like he wanted to lose Jordan Mason.
Yeah. Well, I think he's going to do very well for
I do too, for a team that's
he never really was given an opportunity to do much for the 49ers. So I don't think it's going to kill their offense. And then I think bringing in Mac Jones definitely improves them because they couldn't win without Brock Purdy last year. Now I think they can. If he gets hurt,
I think,
it's out.
That way, if Kyle McCord goes down or something, like you got Mac and Purdy backing him up.
True. It's true.
You still have Purdy on his rookie contract too, so he's a cheap 3rd stringer, 2nd stringer.
Who has a better deep ball, Kyle McCord or Brock Purdy?
Kyle McCord. It's not even close. It's literally
Kyle McCord has a beautiful deep ball.
Brock Purdy doesn't have one.
No. And
everyone
I think
goes
from Kyle's perspective, do you think he wants someone with a limited arm but a lot of scrambling ability, or a guy with an unlimited arm and limited scrambling ability?
Oh, I would not be surprised if Kyle McCord's drafted. I would not, and I think you'll have a field day at training camp with Kyle McCord.
But I like Kyle McCord. If they take him, I'm gonna applaud. So you should be drafting a quarterback every year, and just because you have Mac Jones and Brock Purdy doesn't mean you shouldn't take.
That's what I'm saying. In round 4. Is you'll have a field day when you're like, okay, after Kyle McCord played the best per usual.
Yeah. Ho hum. So then they lost Aaron Banks. And like, you don't get better by giving his backup the job. But like, I think it's kind of similar situation with like McGlinchey and McKivitz. Is McKivitz as good as McGlinchey? Nah, maybe.
But is he worth
but he's so much cheaper.
Yeah.
That you'd much rather have McKivitz.
Dude,
it's like, I think I'd rather have Burford at $3 million than Banks at whatever he's making.
When I saw his contract with the Packers, I was mind blown that they gave him that money. What was it? It was like 4-year, $84 million or something. Oh, 4-year, $77 million. I think it was.
Yeah.
No.
So that's an average of almost $20 million a year. I'm sorry. Yeah. He's not that much better than Spencer Burford.
His cap hit every year is 25, 22, 21. No, I would never do that. No. I'm so glad they didn't sign that.
Yeah, like you can't really knock him there. Like they lost Jalen Moore, but you can't give him a lot of money to not play.
Yep.
And you like McKivitz because he's so cheap. So they're going to need to draft someone to replace Moore. I'm sure they will in round 4 or 5, a backup, because they're not looking for a starter at that position.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like I feel like the offense actually, they need to get a good running back in the draft, frankly. That's their biggest need on offense.
I mean, they have Juszczyk and Christian McCaffrey. Why do they need another?
They need a running back who can start and carry the load if McCaffrey goes down. Because it's not Guarendo, in my opinion. Guarendo's a good player, but he's not going to be a guy that's going to give you 20 carries a game for 2 months. Yes, Scatty or someone like that.
Yep. I mean, who else would they? I mean, I feel like this is a very deep running back draft, to be honest. Like you have the obvious like GNT Hampton, even Caleb Johnson, but dude, you got both Ohio State boys that are both great. They're both workhorses. You got Scatterbo. You got Samson from Tennessee. You got even Trevor Etienne. You could grab him in like the 6th round. He's not bad. I feel like this is a pretty deep running back class. I don't think you can go too wrong. Oh yeah, you have the SMU guy. Why did his draft stock go so low? You even have Ollie Gordon, who was hyped up to be like the next Barry
My one
Sanders.
request to Kyle Shanahan is let Bobby Turner make the pick. Don't watch someone's highlights for 15 minutes and decide that he's the one. You know what I mean? Don't watch one guy run for 300 yards against one team one time and decide, because it seems like that's what Joe Williams and Ty Davis Price had in common. One big game, 300 yards in college, and all of a sudden he's on the 49ers. Like, let Bobby do it. He's really good at this. And also, like, not just the running back, but I feel like Kyle, I can't prove it, but the Ricky Pearsall pick, that felt like such a Kyle pick. And maybe he was right. Kyle's gotten pretty good with the wide receivers, but a lot of these picks, man, let your freaking scouts do the work. They know these players and they're good. Please.
I hated that. I still don't like the Pearsall pick. We should have.
Like, I just don't think any scout would have. It only makes sense for Kyle. Like, well, in my system, I'll make him a first round pick.
Should have grabbed DeJean.
You took him over Cooper DeJean.
Yeah, should have grabbed DeJean. I was saying it the whole draft. I was like, should have grabbed DeJean. It's just,
as good as Pearsall is, I don't know if he's as good as
we
Cooper
didn't need it. We had too many mouths to feed. We didn't need the receiver. Like,
true. That's true. Now you do, because of the injury. Let's talk defense. So the offense has got. We didn't even mention. Hold on, before we get to the defense. One more thing about the offense. The Luke Farrell signing. Without making fun of it, I do think it makes the offense better as well, because he's a much better player than Eric Sobert. You knew they were trying to get a good blocking tight end when they tried to get the guy from the Lions last year, Brock. What's his name? Brock Wright? I forget his name.
I don't remember.
They wanted it, and it's like, Kyle explained it. He's like, look, if I go 2 tight ends and I have Kittle on one side and Farrell on the other side, we're legitimately a threat to run either direction, and that's a big deal. That makes sense to me. I mean, they haven't really been ambidextrous in their running game for in the past, so that's another way to make the team better. And he's making more money. His cap hit is higher than Juszczyk, which makes me feel like there might be a little bit of an evolution here. Like, maybe they're going to embrace this.
In my opinion, it helps free George up. He's always been our second offensive lineman. You could go a 2 tight end set and block Farrell and let George do his thing and be the best tight end in the NFL. And just, I'm happy as long as George can do what he needs to do.
Only thing that scares me about the Farrell signing is when Kyle has a tight end who's good in pass protection, he starts calling these play action passes where the tight end is blocking the best edge rusher on the team one-on-one. It's like, that's how Purdy got hurt the first time, so I hope that doesn't happen. Prize Picks is the best way to win cash while watching sports. Baseball season just started. Basketball season is ramping up. The Warriors and the Lakers are in the playoff hunt, and you want some of that action, baby. Best part about the Prize Picks app, it's easy to use. All you got to do to set up a lineup is click more or less on a few players' stats. Plus, Prize Picks is available in over 40 states, including California and Texas. And if for new users, if you use promo code Cohn, put down a $5 lineup, you will win $50 no matter what. Prize Picks is giving away $50 to new users who put down their first $5 lineup, win or lose. So go to Prize Picks, download the app, use promo code COHN.